American Fork Podcast.
What? Are we doing a podcast?
Yeah. You've been here
Sorry.
for an hour. You've been preparing for this.
Suddenly burst out into laughter.
You have that disease.
Mm-hmm.
Where you just randomly laugh.
Sobel suddenly burst out of laughter.
I went and bought some coffee after you did that and put it at the property,
Oh.
and you never came.
Oh.
So it's there for
That's what
next
she
Are we
year.
going to carry on a conversation we had off air now?
Yeah.
Let's let Jake do a podcast and let's just sit silently.
Guys, welcome to the American Fork
Oh, okay.
Podcast.
Sorry, Jake.
Thanks.
I have a couple friends with me today.
Yeah.
Phil
Yeah.
and Jeff.
Konnichiwa.
It seems bare bones today.
Yeah, we've been having like lots of people on the studio for a long time, and like now we're loners.
Yeah, just three of us again.
And a picture of Von Cook for Congress.
There he is.
Von Cook for Congress, if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Government.
Von's awesome. I wish I could vote for him, but I'm just outside his district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bike ride away from his district.
But this is episode 135 of the show. Thanks for joining us. This is the podcast where we say we fix America.
Did we just say it? I thought we
Yeah.
actually did it.
Oh, did we?
We fixed it a few
Did we
times.
not? Just a few times. Okay.
Yeah,
This is the podcast where we actually do fix America
That's
a few
right, Jake.
times.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. We went to Kuchu Shabu.
That's
Oh, yeah.
true.
Yeah, that was a good time.
So a few episodes ago, we had the executive chef,
James.
James, for Kuchu Shabu in Sugar House.
Mm-hmm.
And we went there and ate food, and it was really yum.
yeah, we had some Australian Wagyu beef,
Mm-hmm.
and it was good. But the best thing, it makes my mouth water thinking about it, is those bok choy.
Yeah.
There's like this bok choy
Yeah, that sauce was delicious.
appetizer dish with like this sauce that was like,
Yeah.
it's like a mayonnaise-y, spicy, delicious, crunchy bok choy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you guys didn't try it. My wife had some ramen,
Mm-hmm.
and it was delicious.
The chicken
Was
looked
it?
It was
amazing.
so good.
Yeah.
The chicken was the thing that made it so good.
Yeah.
It was the chicken du jour. Was that how you say it? The month?
Korean fried chicken.
Is that what it
ramen.
was?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really good.
the chicken sure.
Certain restaurants are like, yeah, go eat there. It's cool. But this is like a special restaurant. I think that people should go there, experience it. It's a cool atmosphere. They were super nice.
Yeah.
And the food was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, they're brand new, so it's if you want to go to a place where there are not many people in there and have a good meal, it's a good time. Take a
Yep.
big group.
Till the word gets out. Better go now.
They're open during the 2100 South construction, which has been a devastation for a lot of businesses around there. But
Yeah, it's going so slow. I think they're digging up bodies and relocating them. Like, that's how long it's been taking.
the Native American,
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but you did.
You know, I got there though. I didn't like notice construction or anything.
yeah, we came
I just drove right
we
there.
came around the north end.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
you
map.
did? I don't think
I was with you in the car.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we came around the north end of it.
I noticed that Google Maps
It
will-
avoided the traffic
Yeah.
or the
it-
construction.
if closures go on long enough, Google Maps does a pretty good job at routing people around
Yeah.
road construction and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes though, I don't trust it because I think it's like it's like trying to decide what's better for overall traffic. So it's like it's congested, so let's steer some people off this like 50-mile detour.
It's like, it just goes iRobot where it's like, if we had less people driving, then we would have less traffic.
Yeah.
And he just throws you off of a freaking cliff like a lemming.
Yeah. Like sometimes, and I've done this before, but sometimes it'll just like have you get off the exit to get back on when there's congested traffic.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. That's weird.
Because it's like, hopefully they'll get in a car accident on that intersection.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake, go ahead.
well, one little announcement: we've changed our phone number.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So, I called the voicemail line, our old one, just because I think I wanted to see if it's still working.
Uh-huh.
And some random person answered.
Oh.
It was at like 11:30 at night. because I was expecting to get a voicemail message, which is
Right.
what it is, just a voicemail line. It's not actually called to talk.
Yeah.
And
Somebody stole
someone
that number.
answered, and I was like, "Hey, is this such and such a number?" And they said, "No, it's a different number." But it was indeed the right number that I called, so it must have had
Forwarded.
a redirect call forwarding. But anyway, so I have scrapped all of our show notes and changed it to the new phone number,
Yeah.
which is no longer 385 Dad Zero Mug.
Why'd you even say it? That's scary.
It is now 38 Lard Gobs.
Lard gobs.
38 lard gobs.
38 Lard Gobs.
38
And
lard gobs.
I don't even know the number because it's funny. 385 5 2 7 4 6 2 7.
That was so painful to listen to. So what you're saying is 38 lard
38
gobs.
Lard Gobs.
Okay,
so
go.
I spent on Google Voice, I spent about an hour trying to find a number that has, because I love associating the words with numbers. They're easier to remember.
Yeah.
And that was the best one I came up with.
Sounds like a good hour spent.
38
Well
Lard
done.
Gobs. So that's our new voicemail line. Call 38 Lard Gobs and leave
a
us a voicemail.
Yes. We should start playing voicemails.
Yeah,
we should do that.
when we get them.
Yeah, you should. Okay, call in, say something, and then we'll play it on an episode.
Yeah, we'll play your
Some human
voicemail.
out there, a listener. Speaking of hearing from listeners, I had a listener message me, and they said that they were upset because we were dissing on New Jersey not long ago
Oh, yeah.
because they served
Our
a
last
mission.
episode.
Yeah, but by the end of the text, he admitted that.
That it sucked.
That New Jersey
Yeah, he
is-
basically said he signed
the
an
butt of-
NDA, but the truth was it sucked. So,
And it certainly isn't in the top 4 happiest places.
yeah, I'm not going to say the person's name because we don't want the horse state to come out and get him. Is it the horse state? Like,
Horse state?
Whore? No, horse.
horse.
Oh,
Horse
New
state.
Jersey?
Oh, no, it's the garden state.
It
No,
is
wait.
yeah, it's Garden State.
Yeah, I think so. It's just like a thing that's like so bastardized. It's like,
What, New Jersey?
yeah. It's like kind of New York. It's like up there and it's
It's like
dumb.
wannabe New York,
Yeah.
but not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the garden state.
It's like in
the Garden
between New
State.
York and Boston,
It's where New York grows its zucchini.
Massachusetts. Yeah.
So, but we'll continue to make fun of New Jersey
Yeah.
for the
Sorry, listener,
for the life of this
ABC.
podcast. Just call 38 Lard Gobs. Leave us a voicemail.
That's
Tell us
right.
you're upset. We'll play your voicemail online. American Fork news. There is none. So we'll move on.
What?
Well, American Fork High School did beat Pleasant Grove in the football sports.
Listen, Jake, it's
Last
your
week.
duty to report it, even if it's not good news or whatever.
Okay. So AF beat PG.
High school football.
High school footall.
Wow, that's actually a
They're
crazy
At
story.
PG's homecoming game.
They're just,
Oh, poor kid.
PG's not doing well this year at all.
Wow.
they're just
And they
charging
have this-
through that CTE or whatever, aren't they?
What's CTE?
Career Technical Engineering.
No, it's like
Education.
that thing they found out that football players get,
Oh,
and they like murder their families.
concussions, and then they have they're diseased.
Yeah,
for
their
the rest of
brain
their
has
lives.
like a disease that it has like all this cushiony mass with like spots in it, and it makes them turn into like rage machines that murder their families.
I think I saw that episode of X-Files.
Yeah,
Is that why so many murders are happening in American Fork?
maybe.
Wow.
Murder suicides.
Will Smith did a whole movie on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
and
did.
you believe
Called
him? I slapped a guy
Head
and gave
Games.
him CTE. Is
Head-
that what the
Head
movie's called?
Games.
Head Games? Is that
I
it?
think it's Head Games.
Really?
Oh. What is that called? It's not that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Head
Will Smith's still kind of
Games.
low on my likability scale.
CTE.
Is it because of the
Slap heard
the
around the
slap?
world. Yeah, it is.
It
He
is.
did go down a little bit. Like that was really immature and stupid of him to
Well,
do.
it's just like, dude, you're a celebrity.
It is
Give it
called
up.
Head Games. Huh, that's a weird
know.
name. Yeah, you knew, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. You don't like Will Smith anymore?
I just dropped a few notches.
It's a hard thing. It is like we were just talking about Kramer. I mean,
Yeah.
Kramer's thing was probably worse. I mean,
Oh, it was definitely worse.
well,
I don't even know Kramer's thing.
Dropping the N word like a bunch of times.
no, he didn't say that. I thought he said like,
I thought he dropped the N word.
Don't say it, Phil.
no, but what he said was horrible. Like,
It was very racist.
I think the guy was like heckling him, and he's like, 50 years ago, we would have had you strung up or something horrible like that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's terrible, but that just means he's not like, I don't know. The thing, Will Smith was very highly regarded. I don't think I was ever like, whoa, Kramer is
Kramer
just
was
the
a big.
best.
I mean, Seinfeld was a big deal.
Oh, I think he was, but I wasn't like going to see his movies.
he wasn't
like,
an American. I mean, Will Smith, like America's sweetheart, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Independence Day, and
I mean, he was
Richards,
like
not
the
so much.
star in the 90s, like when we were growing up.
yeah,
But it's different too. Like, is assault worse than a racist comment? I don't know. That's a hard
don't know.
one. I mean, the racist thing was horrible. And
I would thought you were talking about the seriousness of what was said versus what Will Smith did, and not
Yeah.
what Will Smith did.
that's what
like-
I'm talking about. What's worse, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock or Kramer being extremely racist?
Right. I thought you were
You know-
talking about Chris Rock's comment versus Kramer's comment.
there used to be a.
Oh, what did Chris Rock say?
He said
Oh, something about
G.I.
Jada's
Jane.
bald.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Jada.
That was nothing.
That was nothing. But when I was a child, and you guys probably heard this a million times too, we used to say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, or words
Right,
will never
right.
hurt me."
Words.
Yeah.
Let people say whatever they're going to say. That drops them in character for sure. But like when someone acts out something, like for example, if someone was a racist pig piece of crap in a school,
Yeah.
like I got it, you're a piece of crap. But the second they just take their rage and start beating people up or bringing a gun in or something like that, that's going to like harm people. Yeah, that's when to me, it's like, okay, you don't have to take that step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Kramer thing was weird. Well, not weird, but it was like there wasn't even really outcry or backlash. I feel like everyone just felt bad for him, like for how dumb, how racist he was. Like,
Yeah.
nobody was like, "Oh, let's cancel Kramer." It was just like, "Oh, you're canceled, dude." Like, you just
Too
that
bad.
Was, that was the
Sucks
worst.
for you.
yeah, I was like you.
Dumb.
And he has like come out more recently, and he's like, I had to really reflect and like figure out why I even had that inside of me, why that would even come out. Because it was pretty ugly. But
yeah. Plus, he painted all those lines on the freeway, so it was a way big freeway.
that's what Jeff
After
was
adopting
saying.
that highway.
That's an episode of Seinfeld. Never
Yeah,
mind. Sorry.
I don't remember that one. But Seinfeld episodes have been popping up on YouTube, so I've been like little clips or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I like them because they're like, there's always like a thing in the episode, like Jerry's girlfriend looks just like him or whatever. So it just plays those scenes where that's relevant. So it's like a 5-minute
Yeah.
clip, but it's like just that thing. So it's pretty
Seinfeld
funny.
is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It really was.
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
It was definitely. It's one of those shows that like spans the
test of time,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it's evergreen. It's
Mhm.
always funny.
Yeah.
Very well written. Larry David's a genius.
Yeah, he is. So American Fork beat Pleasant Grove. That's good.
Yeah. And on to Utah news. We got a couple things in Utah.
Ooh,
First one
got
I
some
called.
things to talk about.
First one I called. Now that's a lot of fentanyl.
Wait a second. I've
We've
heard this story.
Now
before.
this one isn't quite what you think, and I have to read it because it's like, is this real or not? But the
What?
title, the actual headline of the article
Okay, I'm listening.
says Mexican Coke kicked off Fentanyl Tour after frontman reportedly fights audience in Salt Lake City.
Mexican Coke
Wait, what? Say it again.
fights off. Wait.
Mexican Coke.
Kicks off
Mexican-
Fentanyl Tour.
Mexican Coke kicked off Fentanyl Tour after frontman reportedly fights audience in Salt Lake City.
What the hell?
Kicks off.
Is this a word puzzle?
Okay. Here's my guess. Mexican Coke is the name of the band.
Okay. which is kind of funny.
They called it the Fentanyl Tour,
That's messed up.
and the front man got in a fight
And was kicked off of that tour.
and kicked off.
I think that the drug cartel is smuggling fentanyl in with Mexican Coke somehow, like in the packaging.
Like in the cup.
And that initiates the fentanyl
caused a
tour.
problem. Yeah, maybe tour is a drug reference. I don't know. And then something happened in Salt Lake, like they busted them. That's what I got.
So here's what the article actually
You can
says.
just say that I was right. That's fine.
Over the past year or two, the Houston hardcore punk band Mexican Coke
Dang it,
has
Phil.
built up a reputation by playing anarchic theatrical live shows. In the past, band members have worn ski masks on stage, and the band's singer has pointed a presumably fake shotgun at the audience.
Wow.
Recently, Mexican Coke headed out on tour with the Bay Area hardcore band Fentanyl. Another convulsive records act named after a dangerous illicit substance.
Oh, wait, so the Mexican Coke is not
Convulsive
a drink.
Records is the name of the record recording company.
So Mexican Coke is not the real sugar Coca-Cola from Mexico.
It is not.
It's like cocaine.
It's an actual band.
So we got
Well,
cocaine and fentanyl going on a
Right.
tour.
yeah.
Wow.
So, let's see. This past weekend. So given everything I just told you, it says it's probably safe to say that Mexican Coke are not named after the Coca-Cola with sugar instead of corn syrup. This past weekend, Mexican Coke were removed from that tour after a Salt Lake City show that went badly. The Fentanyl Mexican Coke Asbestos Tour
Asbestos?
came to SaltAke City's Church and State on Saturday night.
Wait, is Asbestos
Church-
another band?
I think it's Asbestos. So Fentanyl is the
Oh my
other
God.
band.
It wasn't
And I
Fentanyl
think
wasn't the name of the tour. It was Asbestos.
Asbestos is the name of the tour.
Oh my God.
But I think it's Fentanyl's tour.
This
These
is
guys-
cool. This is like 90s punk band.
So they came to, I guess there's a place called Church and State in Salt Lake City. It's a venue, must be,
Yeah.
where they played on Saturday night. According to this Reddit thread, Mexican Coke's frontman, quote, spent the entire show drinking in excess, treating young concert goers poorly, cussed out the audience, and continued to egg on a group of drunk punks in the audience, unquote.
Wow.
After Redditor claims that the singer used slurs, both racist and homophobic, and that he was throwing beer cans in people's faces. Those reports, it's worth noting, are all unconfirmed.
Okay, I want to talk to the booking agent at Church and State. Like that meeting where they like, guys, I just closed Mexican Coke, fentanyl on their Asbestos tour. Was there a celebration? Was there like, we'll see how it goes?
Was there we need bought a lot of security guards there?
That comes up in
How
a
did
board
that go?
meeting. Like, you're just like, no. How about no, guys? How about no?
Yeah. How about let's not do that?
Phil, can you
Wow.
give us a new band that we could add to this tour? Like a band name? Thinking like electronic rock and roll music or something like that.
The Violent Heroines.
Violent Heroines.
The
I like it.
the Crocodilia.
The Crocodilia.
Do you know what Crocodilia is?
No,
Oh, look it up.
I bet it's
terrible.
like crocodile skin underwear.
Crocodilia. I don't know what happened to this drug. It must have not become like popular. But it was like some drug that people would take, and one of the main ingredients was like gasoline.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. And I think the reason they called it Crocodilia was crocodile. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
Did it
this
have
is
pickles
based
in
off
it?
of memory. But what it had happened is if you overdose and you use it too much, it would start attacking the connective tissues that where it connects your muscles to your like bones and stuff, and
Oh my
so you'd
gosh.
start like sagging, like your
That's
muscles
horrible.
would like start sloughing off of your body.
Oh, the gasoline probably.
That's terrible.
Could be anything. Anyway,
Oh, drugs.
So Crocodilia and the Violent Heroines are
yeah.
joining the Asbestos tour.
the paint infused lead
So
tour.
so that one was kind of funny. The next one is actually, Jeff, one of your articles.
What did I say?
Welcome to Chicago. Wait, Utah.
That's right.
What's going on here?
Oh, it's okay. So yesterday, I'm heading into work, and I'm driving, and there's been some construction on the freeway, so I'm like, whatever, I'll just wait it out, listen to a podcast. And about 30, 40 minutes in, I'm like, wow, I really haven't gotten that far. So a car ride that usually takes me about 25 to 30 minutes took me an hour and a half, right? But about that last 20 minutes of my hour and a half trip, I turned on the radio because that's how long I decided to wait. And I see this story, which I'm going to first of all say it wasn't in West Valley.
You
Thank
heard
Phil.
this story.
Yeah. What did I say? I read this story.
You saw it.
I did see it with my ears.
Mm-hmm.
So
His earballs.
basically, there was a road rage incident. Oh, wow. I just clicked Mexican Coke tour.
Not that one.
Okay, one person dead, suspect in custody after a road rage shooting on eastbound SR 201.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, this isn't what I heard about.
So this was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was I heard about a shooting. I didn't know it was on the freeway.
So 5:30 in the morning, I don't know what happened, and I think they're still investigating exactly what happened, but apparently the police have some dash cam video of some other cars
Yeah.
around this car. Because someone cut someone off, and then someone else brake checked somebody, and something else happened. And the end of the story is a 50-year-old man was killed by a 44-year-old man with I think he said 14 gunshots into this car,
Gosh.
Wow.
which is not like self-defense.
Like, that's gang level shooting.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Jeez.
Talk about drive-by. It was like drive
Dang
with
Mormons. Dang
shooting.
Mormons.
It probably was.
Yeah, what is the deal in Utah and the rage when driving? Like in Boston, you get cut off on an hourly basis. You honk. If you're not me, you probably flip them off, stick your head out the window, F you and your mom and everything you stand for.
Mm-hmm.
And
move
both
on.
cars drive away.
And then they
happily.
move on.
Yeah, it's like like they never even happened.
And they
Like,
just go home, beat their kids, and just get it done with.
exactly take it out on their wife.
Yeah.
No, I really don't know why, but yeah, people were the worst, but it never escalated to violence.
Yeah.
You just cussed, you honked, you went about your way and forgot about it instantly.
Yeah.
But here it's like people don't even honk. Like they're like, oh my gosh, I honk every day so many times. I love honking. I honk at everybody everywhere.
I ran out of honks on my car. It doesn't honk anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to
Your
put
your honk motor's dead?
I have to put a quarter in.
It's-
This goes to my kid's college fund.
Yeah. But
So-
people like get so offended if you honk at them. It's
Yeah.
like, well, get off your phone. The light has been green for 30 seconds.
And that's a
There's a
bad one.
huge line behind you. So,
So a couple points on this story was number
and
one.
I don't wait. Sorry. I don't
Oh.
wait 30 seconds. I wait like 30 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Like if the light turns green and you're not rolling, I honk at you.
Yeah.
So pay attention, Utahns. I might be honking at you.
But you probably won't
Today.
be shooting them.
No, I won't.
you're
And,
gonna-
and you don't need to shoot me. You can get over it. You can be like, yep, I was on my phone. I don't need to get all mad about it. Sorry. You know,
I think it's safe to say that it typically isn't like honk, honk, honk. It's usually like honk, honk, and then getting in front of them, slamming on the brakes,
Right, it's- yeah.
flipping each other
It's
off,
brake
rolling the
checking.
windows down.
it's like an escalating
Oh, yeah.
thing. Yeah.
These
Yeah,
guys have probably been fighting from Tooele all the way to Salt Lake on
Yeah.
this road, you know?
I had a guy pull a gun on me on the road in Nevada.
Wow.
Yeah, just like not pointed at me, but like he waved it out the window, and I was like, "Oh." And it's probably because I have this like pet peeve with idiots that drive in the passing lane, in the fast lane, like
And they're not passing someone.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just like clogging the freeway.
Yeah.
So I'm usually like trying to get around them. I'm not being like aggressive or whatever, but like, you know, I kick up the speed a little bit. I'm passing and then they speed up and I'm like, okay. So I just like slow down a little, but they're still going like 10 under in the fast lane. So I'll speed up a little bit and then they speed up. It's like, oh my gosh, just let me by.
Yeah.
And then like, like waved I think I like actually sped up again and then like got by him. And then he like flew around me again and then like waved a gun out the window. I was like, dude.
Did you call the cops?
No, I should
I
have.
100% would have called the cops.
I should have, but I was like late for something.
Brandishing a weapon doesn't matter if they're pointing it at you or anything. Just brandishing a weapon. Basically, if you unconceal your weapon to a person, that's against like there's protocols.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been. I don't know why. Normally I would have. In this situation, it was like I was late to something. I'm like, I don't care.
You just listened to conference, so you're really forgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know. It was like, I just didn't even have the bandwidth to care.
Yeah.
It's like I was in Cedar City a few months ago. I stopped there at the Walmart, got something, was walking back to my car, and two like maybe 20-year-olds are kind of walking by me, and one of them looked at me and went, "What's up?" and said the F word, the gay,
Fentanyl?
the gayer F word.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what? And I didn't even like respond.
Do I
I'm just
dress
like,
that nice?
I just like kept walking. I'm like, I don't even have the like, I don't care. I just don't, I'm not even going to like deal with that. That's kind of what it was. It was like, ugh.
I would have just been like, not much, baby.
Yeah.
Like with
What do
you.
you want?
How you doing?
I give so little F's about stuff like that. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just like, are you two? Come on. Anyway.
You mentioned a really weird thing. You said passing lane? Like the lane is for passing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It literally says every 100 yards, the whole freaking freeway, keep
Passing lane.
right except to pass.
And that's
Utahns. I should say
New Jerseyans?
Yeah. Actually, Nevadans are the absolute worst. Californians, everyone complains about Californian drivers. They're a little bit better than Utah.
They know how to
staying out of the fast lane, I think.
They know how to drive. There are just so many of them.
that's the thing.
And they do hit the. I think the thing is, people go down there and they're like, "Whoa, everyone here's crazy," because when the light turns green, everyone hits the gas. Like, and if you're not moving, you're gonna get honked at in California.
The other thing too is they do not like when there's space in front of you and the car in front
Exactly.
of you. Like if I leave 3 car lengths because I'm going 70 or 80 miles per hour on the freeway, they don't like that.
Exactly.
They're like, "What the heck's your problem?
Fill
Close
that
up."
hole. Fill
Yeah.
that gap.
Yeah,
You're going 80. It should be 16 inches from the front bumper.
they do that also.
Yeah.
Which isn't safe. It's better to have a little space, but the
But
left.
they think you're going slow. That's the thing.
Yeah, the left lane is for passing.
I was being facetious. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
People do not understand that unless you're actively passing, you shouldn't be in that lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of the lane.
Get out of the
Don't-
lane.
It's like some holier than thou, like, I'm going the speed limit. No one should be going faster than me. That's why I'm clogging traffic.
It's called speed limit.
Yeah.
It's the highest. No, go away.
But yeah, I watched a YouTube video. This police officer or policewoman pulled over a guy, and she's like, I pulled you over because you're clogging the flow of traffic. He's like, I was going the speed limit. Well, show me where in the law. And she's like, well, it's 18-BQ5. Do not clog the flow of traffic or whatever. And he was like, it was one of those where he's like, am I under arrest? Am I blah, blah, blah? It's like, oh my gosh, dude, you were that dick. That
Yeah.
was just
I don't feel
like-
safe getting out of the car or unrolling my window.
Yeah.
I feel threatened.
I'm just traveling. What, all the sovereign citizen stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
F that.
My water birth capital name says that I'm a free spirit or whatever.
According to Maritime Admiralty law.
Anyway, my
Spirit.
I wish I could have been in that courtroom to see that guy like arguing his way out of whatever, probably a parking ticket. You don't have authority over me, my capitalized birth certificate, blah, blah, blah.
Chicago.
I'm just saying, don't shoot people. That's my main message to
Don't-
everybody.
Don't shoot. You don't need to brandish a weapon at another driver because you're slow and suck at driving.
How easy would it have been for someone to cut someone off, flip them off, and just carry on?
Mm-hmm.
It would have been done. I mean, they don't know if this guy died he ran into a barrier.
Yeah.
And he's dead. So they don't know if he died before he ran into the barrier or if he ran into it and then the guy shot at him or what.
The guy shot him and he ran into a barrier.
They don't know exactly. I mean, they might know now, but it's a mess. Like, come on. I mean, basically, the guy that shot the other guy was driving a Ford Explorer. So I'd probably just say stay away from those cars.
Yeah.
As a general rule. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Ford Exploder.
It's rough. I mean, I don't carry a gun anywhere. And I've never been like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, that's a weird thing to do. Like, get mad and shoot someone over what? They cut you off. So, like, let them go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like this weird pride thing. I think about this all the time. I think about the psychology of people, like what they're thinking while they're driving based on how they drive. And that's like one of the biggest ones. Here's my other pet peeve. You ready?
Okay. Phil's pet peeve hour.
You're driving on the highway. I drive a lot, like cross interstate, whatever. So I'm on the highway.
Smuggling drugs.
Smuggling drugs.
It's a lot of fentanyl.
Yeah. This is my next biggest pet peeve.
Mm-hmm.
There's a semi 2 miles ahead. What do you do?
Drive.
Nothing. Keep driving?
Yeah, you keep driving until you're all the way up right in that semi's butthole, and then you signal over and pass it. That's what normal people do. Like,
you don't need to slow down to do it, but yes.
Yeah.
But
most people see a semi and they're like, I better get in the passing lane now because I might get stuck behind that semi. So there is a line of cars 1 mile long, and every time I just get in the regular lane and I zoom past them all, and everyone's like all getting mad at me, and it turns out that the distance between the person in the front of that line and the semi is actually like a 1/4 mile.
Yeah.
So I just go around them every single time. But some people get mad about that and then like speed up and chase me down and stuff. I'm like, dude, you did not all need to be in the passing lane. You had ample time and space to keep cruising and then pass the semi.
Yeah.
If everyone would do that, the world would be a better place. But you don't do that. I can see in your eyes that if you see a semi 2 miles ahead, you're going to get in the passing lane, aren't you? I can see.
Phil's getting mad at me.
I can see that's what you do.
I feel under attack.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out a gun.
Well, quit doing it.
So
you know what my pet peeve is semi-truck drivers. Because you'll have one guy going 55 miles per hour and the other guy getting ready to pass him going 56.25 miles per hour up a hill both ways in the snow. And then when they get like bumper to bumper, meaning like their front bumpers are the same on this 2-lane freeway, they just keep going forever. And then eventually, very slowly, the guy trying to pass slowly creeps behind him, then gets behind him. You're like, dude, if you're going to pass him, you have to be going at least like 5 miles per hour over his speed limit.
Right.
I hate that so much.
I hate that too.
it's in Parleys all the time.
But I've noticed that I like truck drivers way better than the general public.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're typically like way better on the road. They're more cordial, like all that. All those other uggos out there are just like screwing everything up. Especially like on a normal commute, everything's good. But whenever it's like a big like Labor Day weekend,
it's the worst.
Or like a football game, you've got all these people on the road that aren't normally on the road long distance, and it is horrible.
Yeah. You know what I actually do when I'm in those situations? I set a speed and I just go that speed. I'll stay in the same lane the whole time. And even if like if a speed changes, like if I slow down or have to speed up, like I'll just stay in the same lane.
Yeah. You've activated my next pet peeve, which is people that don't use cruise control. So it's always like, I put cruise control on and then I catch up to like this white car because they're not using cruise control. They see I'm catching up. So they speed up like 20 miles an hour, and they're like 2 miles ahead of me. 5 minutes later, I'm catching up to them again.
Going 80 the whole time.
Going the same speed because they don't use cruise control.
Yep.
What do? They speed up again because they're like, I'm not going to let that guy pass me.
Yeah.
It's like, then put it on cruise control.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't even care what the speed limit is. If it's like 80 is the speed limit and like everyone's going like 90, then I'll set my cruise control to that.
Yeah.
And I won't even touch the gas. I'll just adjust the cruise control depending on the cars in front of me.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that. I
welcome.
actually
I
was
think-
thinking I need to start taking my gun with me because I'm getting really riled
In
up.
case you ran into me.
Yeah.
I think most people don't use cruise control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird. Well, and I think, again,
Cruise control's great.
I think, again, it's because that person that keeps doing that, they probably don't make those long distance trips all the time like I do.
Yeah.
It's like their first time, and they like having their foot on the gas, whatever. I don't know what it is.
Depending on the song.
But you do make better time almost without fail. All those people that pass me going 20 over,
Yeah.
I end up catching up to.
You run into them.
Because I've got cruise control on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I think you make better time. If you have to pay attention to how fast you're going all the time, you're going to drift up and down, and on average, I would say you end up going slower than otherwise.
And probably using more gas.
Yeah, and using more gas and all that.
Yeah.
So use
We should
cruise
start a
control.
Can we start a driving podcast? I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of content here, Phil.
Oh, there really is.
Okay.
Here's the next thing.
That's a joke, right? Thank God.
No, go ahead. Dave.
Well, thank God we're not Chicago, but we're one step closer as of yesterday, murdering someone on the freeway.
So make Utah Boston again.
yeah.
Yeah. I also put another story in here. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are excited, but you guys have known me since junior high.
Uh-huh.
I'm not like a huge sports person.
Uh-huh.
I am in freaking love with hockey.
Oh, really?
Like, I've been enjoying it so much, and I'm very excited for Utah because this week we're starting our first actual game of the regular season on NHL.
Yeah, did you get season tickets?
No, they're so expensive.
Oh, are they really?
Well, I mean, depending on what seats you get.
Yeah.
I do have a goal. I'm going to go to a game this year with my kids, and that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be enough. Yeah. We go to other hockey games that we go watch, but I think it'd be fun to go to an NHL game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Smith Group is having a massive party downtown from like 4:00. They're shutting down like city blocks to have a big old party before the game. And yeah, it's going to be fun.
That'll be fun.
So right
Hockey.
now it's the Utah Hockey Club, and I think that was just kind of a placeholder until they probably finish all of their marketing and all the stuff for the new name, which they know, but they haven't released to the public yet. So there's kind of like this little bit of an excitement around what's the new name going to be, and I think most people know it's probably going to be the Yetis.
Well, that's a guess. Yeah.
I think it's going to be the Port of Rockwells.
The Mormons, the Bonnets,
Mormon Might.
Porter's Puck.
the Utah
Porter's
Bonnet.
Puck.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know what it is. They might.
They did. They came out and said it
They know what it is.
was Dave Smith, is that his name?
Sure.
The owner of the
actually
team.
know. It's Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith.
He said the
Mr.
name,
and
or he
Mrs.
just says he
He
knows
said we
it?
know the name. Almost leaked it, but not quite. He was in an interview.
Yeah.
But so they
So
know
they're
what it is.
Utah Hockey Club.
They did a survey. They asked the state of Utah people to vote, and everyone voted, and I think there was an overwhelming majority for one of the names.
Yeah. Well, I think I love it. I think it's super fun. They did throw in the Utah Hockey Club just as a stopgap because apparently it's a miracle for them to even get their jerseys in time for Utah Hockey Club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they were going to do like any elaborate cool stuff for
Take
their
a bunch
jerseys,
of time, and
it takes a long time to get those things produced and made. Plus their whole they started this in April. They probably got like the details of like Utah Hockey Club some months later. They still don't have like official sweaters yet to sell
really?
to the public. So that was one thing that he was worried about. He's like, this is a huge like selling merchandise is a big deal, especially on like this first game. Anyway, so they're still scrambling with stuff, but apparently it's going really well.
Huh.
I mean,
a lot of people are excited about it. There's hype right now.
The Arizona Coyotes, which is the team that moved here, they were playing in like some kind of ghetto small venue in Phoenix, Arizona. And I think it held like 8,000 or 10,000 people, which is a good amount of people, but not nearly what like the Delta Center holds. What does the Delta Center hold? 20?
18,000.
I thought it was 17 something.
Yeah.
If I remember, like,
Is it the Delta Center again?
Yeah,
it is. It's back to the
Is it
Delta
really?
Center. Yeah.
That's
which is
funny.
what it's always been
Thank
since
God.
since it left the Delta Center.
Yeah.
Or since they changed their name, for me,
Yeah.
it's always been the Delta Center.
Yeah, I've said this before. I don't like Delta anymore. I think that their planes are kind of dated. They're always delayed.
Are there any
You know-
airlines that are like good and notable right
so,
now?
and
that
I
are
think
not
I said it
international?
before, but
SpaceX.
Allegiant and Breeze, or like Breeze especially, I've really enjoyed.
Wow, Phil.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the breeze behind your car while you're driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the plane's always on time. It's always clean. It's new. People
Yeah.
are nice.
Provo,
Provo.
out of
yeah.
Provo,
Okay.
Breeze Airways.
not
believe you.
not Spirit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Spirit
guys,
Airlines.
go to a,
so
go to a
I-
hockey game.
So
That's where
I
you go.
recant that. I've actually never been on Spirit. I was saying Spirit thinking it was
No, you
Breeze.
said Allegiant and Breeze.
Before I did. I thought before I
You
was
didn't say
saying
anything about
Allegiant and Spirit.
Spirit is notoriously like the Walmart of airlines.
Yeah, I've never been on Spirit.
Yeah.
Breeze and
You're
Allegiant.
fine not. It shouldn't be a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
I almost always fly Southwest.
Yeah, Southwest
I don't know
also
why.
is not great.
Southwest and JetBlue, they're always delaying. It's just there are so many airlines that are delaying and canceling flights now.
Yeah.
I don't go to the East Coast though.
Yeah, I
It's
used to
West
really
Coast.
like JetBlue because they were like the only ones with like screens in the chairs. And nowadays you just take an iPad. It's like, who cares? On-flight entertainment is a joke because you do your own
I
thing
mean,
now.
here's the thing though. Where do you fly to? Southern California?
Yeah,
Who cares?
or Las Vegas.
It's like it's like driving to Provo. You could take a school bus and it wouldn't matter.
Yes. So what?
So what?
So what?
Just leave your
cares?
gun at home. Don't kill anybody.
Yeah,
You know
don't
what I mean?
kill anyone because they honked their horn.
Nationwide news.
Oh,
This one is, let's see, a prophetic satire on what I think may happen.
oh,
And
Florida
the title of it,
is gonna be lost in the sea.
no.
no, but that's coming.
Oh.
This one is called, Wait, he didn't just kill himself, did he? Did I sound like Eminem when I said that?
Sure.
Okay, good. And the word Diddy is D-I-D-D-Y.
Yeah,
Oh,
we get it, Jake.
Diddy.
Oh, okay.
We get it, Jake.
So Puff Daddy is Sean Combs, P. Diddy,
Yeah.
Diddy, is all over the news right now.
Yeah,
He is apparently the new Jeffrey Epstein.
yeah.
There's quite the stuff going on with him. So back in May, I think we talked about when he was arrested in Miami, and then there hasn't been a whole lot since then. But just in like mid-September, it started back up. He was arrested again after being indicted by a grand jury. That was on September 16th. I'll just kind of give a brief overview of the timeline over the last few weeks. The next day, September 17th, a memo filed with New York Judge Robin Tarnofsky accused Combs and co-conspirators of setting fire to an unnamed person's car using a Molotov cocktail in an accusation that matches one brought by Combs' ex-girlfriend, who said in a lawsuit filed last year that the Combs blew up a car owned by rapper Kid Cudi.
Whoa.
The next day, Combs' lawyer cited horrific conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, in a request for bail, which included a $50 million bond offer, GPS monitoring, and strict limitations on visitors that was denied by the U.S. District Judge, who said the conditions weren't enough to ensure the safety of the community.
The whole community is going to get raped.
Jeez. September 24th, Combs is sharing a unit with a disgraced former cryptocurrency billionaire, Sam Bankman-Fried, at the Metro Detention Center. I didn't know that he was in basically prison with him.
And who was that guy?
Sam Bankman-Fried. He was...
Didn't he? Was he the guy that set up a party? Like he was going to set up this huge festival, and then he just didn't deliver on it at all.
The Fire Festival?
Yeah.
I don't recall
That's
him being
different. Okay.
associated with that. But he's a former crypto mogul. He's serving a 20-year sentence in prison for counts of conspiracy, fraud, and money laundering linked to a scheme that lost former FTX customers, lenders, investors, several billions of dollars.
Damn.
And so he's in prison with him.
Wow.
Also that same day, September 24th, Talia Graves filed a federal lawsuit in New York claiming she was offered a glass of wine by Combs and Sherman in 2001 when she was 25 and made her lightheaded, dizzy, and physically weak, and they raped her. September 26th, a documentary was released for streaming on Tubi. This is the Diddy
50 Cent?
The Diddy documentary.
Yeah.
It addressed the leaked surveillance video of Combs shoving and kicking his ex-girlfriend, which became a really popular viral video. And that became kind of the backbone for him being an abusive assailant, person that an abusive person. And that kind of like everything else is kind of stemming off of this story of him abusing his girlfriend. And anyways, since then, for the next week or so, there have been multiple people coming out and saying that they've been associated with him, and that he's been being accused of rape and assault and just buying too much baby oil.
Yeah, I was gonna say what in the world? They're like, that was like the big thing in the news. They found over 20 cartons of baby oil.
That's like 1,000 bottles.
Over 1,000 bottles.
It could be 10 million. 10 million bottles of baby oil. I was like, okay, well, what?
Well,
What's baby oil? Does that do you drink it and then get raped?
Everyone knows. Yeah.
No, it's just it's a lubricant
Yeah.
people use.
Yeah, I thought that was strange that they're like freaking out about baby oil. If they found like a carton of date rape drug, what's that called?
I can't think of what
I say it on Arrested Development. Fluzitrazepam. Roofies or whatever.
Yeah,
if they found a
roofies.
bunch of that would be a big story. But the news was like
It was like the baby oil was like the center of the controversy.
Yeah, I was like, what the world? That was crazy.
Well, if you find it was 1,000 bottles of baby oil and like almost 80 dildos in one person's house.
Even if you do, that's not like I mean, you might say that that's immoral, but let's say he's
not
just
against the law.
Let's say say he's just making pornos. And he's got a bunch of baby oil and dildos or whatever, like sex toys, like
yeah. That's kind of where his attorney was headed. He's like, so, like, why does that matter? He's like, he lives in a big house and he shops at Costco all the time. Have you ever seen the things that people buy in bulk at Costco?
Yeah,
and you know,
I
mean,
I'm not trying to defend anything he did. I was confused why they were focusing in on
it was really
so like, okay, he's trafficking women, he's doing this, and look at all this baby oil. I was like,
but here's the thing.
oil?
Here's the thing, Phil. Okay, so let's just say hypothetically that there's this John Wayne Gacy, right? If you go to Steve's house and you find a gun, it's kind of like, he's in America, he owns a gun.
Yeah.
You go to John Wayne Gacy's house, you're like, oh, we found a gun. In the context of things, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, the guy accused of murdering a whole bunch of people, we found a gun at his house. Like, that's kind of a big deal. You know?
No, it would be like this. It'd be like, we just raided this house and found 40 kilos of fentanyl. And guess what else we found? Costco-sized crates of paper bags that they were going to use to transport the fentanyl. No. There was so many paper bags in a stack in the back. It was like, okay, I don't care about the paper bags. That's what it seems. It's like this irrelevant accessory that like isn't harmless.
Well, okay,
like harmless,
yeah, but then what are they supposed to say? Oh, we raided his house and found his penis. So
they should have said
like it's rape.
They should have said there wasn't a lot of evidence to support our case. If that's what they're calling evidence, like baby oil, like that's not.
It's weird that's the information that leaked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the baby oil. I'm
but,
sure
but
they
that's
probably
the good. It's the fun story.
Yeah.
If they're like, we found 8,000. I don't know. Are you saying like, what if they found 8,000 condoms?
If they found like 8,000 porno videos, like DVDs in a stack, that might be like, oh,
DVDs in a stack.
like
Where
stacks
do you
of.
even buy a DVD anymore?
I don't know
Walmart?
what pornos there are on VHS.
Yeah,
Walmart.
they're on beta.
Walmart in a stack in the case and between the aisles.
Laser disc.
Yeah, they're on laser disc, Phil. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was just like it was this like benign accessory. Like
Whatever, Phil.
I think
You're
that-
so wrong.
okay.
So
A benign accessory.
So, looking back, there are a lot of celebrities who, even with Epstein, who come out and say like, it's like they quote unquote hide it in plain sight.
yeah,
Things like lines in a song or making a speech, an acceptance speech at an awards ceremony where they allude to something criminal that a person has done.
yeah,
And it's weird. It's funny how in the celebrity world, in Hollywood world, it's like an inside joke. And the same with Epstein, but with P. Diddy, like we as a general public now are understanding all of the jokes that people were making in Hollywood
Yeah.
about P. Diddy being a rapist and, you know, attracted to young people and having these lavish sex parties. We get it now, but it's weird that like it's just kind of a joke in Hollywood. It's like, oh, P. Diddy, party with P. Diddy. You know, Keisha has a song, waking up early, feeling like P. Diddy, and Eminem's song, misspelling the word rapper, using R-A-P-E-R. Oh wait, he didn't just use one P, did he? We now understand what that
Yeah.
means. But it's like, I feel like Hollywood is like a massive accessory to these horrible things that are going on, and they're not speaking out. It's like they're just joking about it.
yeah, it's
and-
like it's a huge orgy with enough baby oil. You just don't talk about it.
Right.
Right, Phil?
yeah. It's strange, and I'm not in any way defending Puff Daddy, but I was reading this article the other day, and I'm going to get this wrong, but I think the headline was like, former porn star says she wasn't expecting sex when she was hired for a party, like going to Puff Daddy's thing. And I was like, what? Former porn star not expecting sex. Like, what were you expecting? Maybe she's going there to strip or something.
Or maybe she's just a good-looking lady and people hire her to go to parties.
Yeah, I
Maybe
guess.
she's a ventriloquist.
I guess.
I don't know.
She might play the violin really well.
I mean, it is funny because if you'll remember, and maybe my memory of this is a little sketchy, but if you're younger or you weren't paying attention in the 90s, there were two rival artists. They were Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. And I think the thing was like, one was like East Coast, one was West Coast, one was like kind of Crips, one was kind of Bloods. And Tupac gets shot and killed, and B.I.G. gets shot and killed, and Puff Daddy was associated with B.I.G. They were bros, and he releases a hit single saying like, love you so much, every breath you take, blah, blah, blah. And then Puff Daddy is kind of like this like shining businessman, good guy kind of vibe is kind of what I've got over the years. Like I actually hadn't heard all this stuff about crazy sex parties and stuff, but that was just kind of like what he was being portrayed as. But if you think about it, like he kind of came straight out of a gang that was in a big gang war in the 90s where two major people died. So I guess it does make sense that his criminal activities would continue. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a bad assessment, but
Do you bring up Tupac because there's an association because just recently Tupac Shakur's family hired a team of investigators to look into P. Diddy as killing Tupac.
oh,
There's a whole
really?
conspiracy theory about it, like that Tupac was actually, and I don't believe this stuff, so but that Tupac was like gay and P. Diddy wanted to like get with him or something like that. Yeah,
Really?
I'm saying this. Apparently, there's a video out there of Tupac acting like completely super feminine.
Wow.
Which is, it's basically a crime for me to even say that because Tupac was a badass. Like, he's super cool. But, like, there's this weird conspiracy about, like, them having a relationship.
Yeah.
And he's on the opposite side, like Romeo Juliet kind of stuff, whatever.
Huh.
And then Notorious B.I.G., who I actually love, is also, like, his music's cool. Anyway, I don't know. It's a weird thing. And I can't get over the fact that you think a person being alleged mass raping, finding dildos and baby oil is not weird. Phil?
I mean, that doesn't say mass raping to me.
What would?
Well, some kind of like rape drug or like chains in the basement, like something that directly implies rape. But baby oil could literally be...
Here's how you mass rape people. You oil up the hallway and you just push them.
Yeah.
And then they've like slipped down the hallway into the bedroom.
Never in my life have I ever heard of rape involving baby oil. That's why
I don't think it has anything to do with his accusations of rape. It just is fuel to the idea, the fire that is the idea of him having these massive sex parties.
I think
during which there was a lot of illegal activity.
I'm just going to go on record. He must not have carpet in his house because baby oil and carpet would not be good.
I think it's possible, though, that they just have a weak case, and that's why they're like trumping up this stuff. It's like the case with Donald Trump that he was convicted of was with, who was it? It was like
Stormy?
No, it was like that reporter or whatever.
Keith?
I think that's the case he was convicted like this summer or earlier this year of sexual assault. They were pushing for rape. He got sexual assault, and it was like this journalist or whatever back in like the 80s that said that they were in like a department store, and he was like, you should try this on. Anyway, the evidence that they used in that case, there was no evidence for that, what happened. The evidence they used was that Access Hollywood tape where he's like, grab him by the, you know what, and like other comments he made publicly about women. Like that's the evidence that they used. Right. There was nothing other than she had two friends that came and testified that, yeah, she told us about this years ago. That was it. And so
you're saying that they're bringing up these alarming things because they might not have a solid case. They're trying to sway public opinion.
Yeah, well, and that's what was in the Trump case. And I'm not saying Trump did or didn't do what they convicted him of. He may have, but as far as the law goes, that was a weak case. And it very clearly, like, obviously you can find people that don't like Trump, or you probably can find people that just based on listening to a video of Trump saying, I walk around and grab women by the, like, I'm going to convict that guy. I don't care if he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so it could be like that. Puff Daddy might make a lot of pornos. That's not illegal.
And never release them.
Yeah. And maybe something happens. He doesn't pay his girls or whatever, and they come back and sue. I'm not saying that's what happened either. But if you're being accused of rape, there's got to be some hard evidence. And baby oil is like not even on the planet of anything.
I know what you're saying. And I think that, anyway, have you seen the documentary?
Which one?
With P. Diddy?
The one from last month.
Oh, no. Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't.
Well, I think it was on Tubi. Is it on Netflix too?
I don't know what it is. But watch that. I haven't watched it, but I think there's a lot more data out there than just baby oil and dildos.
And there probably is.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm seeing articles pop up all the time, like, oh, there's this accuser, there's this accuser. It does look really bad for him.
Yeah.
I was just like perturbed with the baby oil thing. I'm like, because that really was like probably what everyone's heard. Oh, he's got like cartons of baby oils. Like,
yeah, because it's funny, and you don't want to talk about the serious stuff, just the funny stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's got over 120 people who've come out and joined this mass lawsuit against him.
Yeah.
But the only evidence that I haven't seen that video either.
I haven't yet either.
That documentary, but the only evidence that I know of that's solid, that's at least worth, punishment, is when he was chasing his ex-girlfriend down his girlfriend down the hall and basically beating her up almost senseless.
Oh, wow.
And there's also talk of there was one rape victim who said she went through her account and then said that there is a videotape out there somewhere of the situation because he used to show it to other people. And like those people have told her about it or something like that. So they're probably looking for stuff like that as well.
So another one that I had heard recently is that they, in part of their raids that they've been doing, they found 3 sex tapes involving 3 different A-list celebrities.
Yeah.
And apparently those celebrities are working really hard to not have those released.
Right.
Should we guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Denzel Washington. I say that because Denzel Washington did come out and basically say that he was at a Diddy party and was like, I'm out.
Oh, really?
Because it was not like they had gotten in a fight, and Denzel Washington was he was the hero, or the guy that left, and but
yeah, I really like Denzel, and so that would be a heartbreaker if he was involved in anything like, whatever. But
did he had something to do with Justin Bieber?
Oh yeah, he basically raised him as an older. And Justin Bieber right now is like, everyone's like waiting for Justin Bieber to come out about things.
Yeah. It's like Macaulay Culkin and Michael Jackson.
He's silent about it. Yeah.
Like when remember that was a big deal when we were younger. And then now it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people are pointing to an interview with David Letterman that Diddy and Justin Bieber were on, and Justin Bieber had mentioned something about like, Puff Daddy was supposed to give me a Lamborghini, but he never did, and Diddy was like, you drove the Lamborghini a couple times already, and Justin's like my little brother, but we know that we don't talk about what happens, at Big Brother's when you're hanging out with Big Brother or something like that. And
there was also, I think I saw an interview where he said something like, we're just gonna go back and do what 13-year-olds do.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's that? Like everyone assumed it was like play video games and whatever, but yeah, it's interesting. But
wow. Yeah, that would be, I mean, if underage kids are involved in any way, like in some kind of sexual thing, that's obviously horrible. If he's beating up women or stuff like that, I don't know. If it's like everyone's coming to a party and everyone does cocaine and then like all kinds of crazy things happen, it's like, well, you guys were idiots. Yeah. All of you. So.
Yep. You're victim shaming right now.
Apparently he filmed it all as blackmail. That's according to the people who are suing him.
Telling you, dude. Do you remember the sci-fi show? I brought this up before. It was, and I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, where they have a sleeve where your consciousness is in like a disc, and they put it into your neck, and you have your body's just what they call a sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Divergent?
No,
is that a different show?
If I hear the name, I'll be like, heck yes. But it's a sci-fi show for sure. But there's this guy who's like going to take down certain bad people, and there's a space station that's just 100% set up as exactly what you're saying, where these politicians and these celebrities and stuff would go up to the space station and they do whatever they want, including murder people. Like if they wanted to murder someone, they go up there and do that. Or if they want to, whatever sexual fantasies they had. And the whole thing was the guy that owned the space station would record them and then use them as blackmail. And he was the guy that owned the place, was like just filthy rich, super powerful dude. Not because he did anything. He was just had so much blackmail on all these people.
What was his name? John Holmes.
His name was Jeffrey Diddy Holmes.
Combs.
Sean.
Jeffrey Diddy Holmes.
Diddy? Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like not a surprise, but it is. It's like, weird.
Do you think, here's another conspiracy I just thought of. Do you think that maybe I don't know, Clintons or somebody is trying to now expose this other ring that is happening because they want to get away from like any attention on Jeffrey Epstein's whole, party of what's going on.
Oh, you think so?
Well, I think
don't know.
Epstein's are more dealing with like politicians and world leaders, and then you got P. Diddy who's dealing more with celebrities,
and Hollywood people,
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of like, hey, look over there, guys, while we shred these papers or whatever, or kill this other person involved in this thing.
I feel like if there really was anything to the Epstein thing, it would have come out by now. I bet you.
You just believe that information's just going to come out naturally, and everyone's going to be honest about it.
That's the thing is, there is at least the black book that was all of the contacts or whatever was supposed to be released, but never was, and it kept getting delayed. And
that's true. It was kind of just like swept under the rug.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a president gets shot in Texas, and then there's all this film out there, but no one really knows where it is, and there's declassified documents that are more black than there are words.
Yeah,
like they're probably just going to tell us eventually, right?
Yeah, all the information.
You're talking about JFK assassination?
Yeah, they still haven't released documents about that.
Yeah, that's a weird one too, isn't it?
What I'm getting at is they're not just going to release the information.
Yeah.
You're stupid is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Tell us how you really think.
So you guys have watched Ozark on Netflix?
I have actually. It's really good.
So
good show.
If you haven't seen Ozark, the premise in a nutshell is that basically this man and woman, like he's like a finance guy and she's like kind of a politician. They kind of come up the ladder to being like a couple of the most powerful people politically, like in the country, and they do it through all this like shady stuff and killing people and blah blah blah. And then they do get to a point where they're very powerful. They have a lot of leverage over all these powerful people. But I'm just like, how likely is that like somebody like Hillary Clinton is that powerful that she can just like control a narrative like that? I don't know.
Follow the money. Go look at who donates to the Clinton campaign or Clinton, what's it called?
Clinton Foundation.
Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money being funneled through for, what do they do? Burn victim care or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, those foundation things weird me out. They're like I think maybe the term for what can be tax exempt is probably a little too loose as far as the like charity foundation thing goes.
You know, the problem I think is that these people become so powerful and so wealthy that they starting getting detached to their own like psychosis and like the things that are weird start becoming the most important things, right?
Yeah.
Like I saw a clip of Mark Zuckerberg who looks like a freaking bodybuilder now. What the heck's up with that? He's like super ripped. And
he's training for a fight with Elon Musk.
I hope so. He releases this data about these glasses that they made and how impossible it was to build. And he says, finally, the dreams of an augmented reality are becoming real. Like, whose dreams?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what?
Who's dreaming about that?
Who wants to put on glasses and, like, finally, I don't have to confront the real world?
Yeah.
Like, I can have little emoji characters running through the forest.
I can have Mario Kart characters follow me around.
I can have
Mario.
Nude Mario.
I can have sepia filters on my ugly wife or something like that. Like what? Like who actually is
your wife is always Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah, exactly. Like what shit life do you have that you have to like do this augmented reality? And like I guess what I'm saying is,
whose dream is it? Right.
It's his dream because he's so detached, and it's not him personally. It's like that whole crew. It's like,
well, I doubt it because I bet it's his dream to make the money. I think he sees a market and he's going to make the money. But like Steve Jobs famously didn't let his kids play with devices.
Yeah.
Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if like Mark Zuckerberg makes this thing and never puts it on. Like he's probably off doing yoga in his mountain retreat and living a good life.
Right. And training Taekwondo. Why doesn't Mark Zuckerberg put all of his energy and effort into getting like every American into a gym?
Yeah.
That's actually the thing that helps you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, because that's
because there's no money in it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, when he said finally our dream of, and I know he's talking about him and his team, but I'm like, he thinks he's presenting this as though it's everybody's dream.
Yeah.
Like finally Ready Player One, because that was really good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
He's kind of shaping the dream.
Yeah.
Like there are people who will buy there are people who buy the latest and greatest technology because they're told this is the future.
Yeah.
This is your dream. This is what you want.
Like those Apple Vision glasses, or what were they? What is that?
Apple Vision. Yeah, that's a joke because it's like
The VR headset?
Yeah.
it's supposed to be really cool, but it's obviously way too big and bulky and heavy, and you have to like an extra battery pack.
Way overpriced.
Like here's the thing.
Do you see people with them in public, though?
No.
Even in California when you're there?
No, it's not something people wear outside. I
But
think
I thought
it's
that
like
was the whole point.
sit in your no, it's like sit in your living room.
But
and
they
have
market
fun.
it as something that you can do
Well, I guess they have to.
out in public.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that, but the thing I really want is regular glasses. They don't weigh any more than
100
glasses.
grams.
I don't need
Ray-Bans.
and I don't need or want like color pictures. I want just like
Terminator.
retro,
Text,
like
green
little
text.
green text.
It types
Yeah,
across the bottom.
but the biggest thing I want is like I want it to hook up to my
Threat perceived.
GPS app so that when we hike, it literally shows you like green lines on the ground where the trail is. You know what I mean? And there's like a little step counter in there and all that, so you can just hike freely. Always know where you are. You hit the snow. You know where the trail is.
Hike freely. Yep.
Hike freely.
Totally. As long as they bring enough batteries.
Stuff like that would be cool. Literally anything else, I can't see
solar-powered.
any reason that
It's
I
solar
would
powered, Jeff.
use
I don't
it.
know. I've referred to this movie so many times. If you haven't watched it, seriously go watch it. It's called Surrogates, and it's got an actor in it. He's fairly famous, but it's all about this augmented reality thing. And
It's what's it called? Bruce Willis,
yeah,
isn't
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's an incredible show, and it takes the concept of Facebook and social media and throws it to an extreme. But every time we take a step towards the future, that extreme becomes less and less extreme. When the movie came out, it was probably like the most out there idea ever.
And now you're like, oh, that's actually happening.
Yeah, like I
That's
swear you
almost-
could watch it.
We're on our path to that.
You could watch it every Christmas and go, "Oh yeah, look at all the steps you've taken to move towards this."
So it's a Christmas film. It's one of the Christmas films.
It's a
you
New
need
Year's
to see.
resolution movie.
You know what is really funny about it is you go back and you have these like future dystopian movies where it's like, oh, in the future our computers will blah blah blah. And most of the general public goes, oh, that's horrifying. But there's a section of the public, people like Mark Zuckerberg, who's like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What if we did make algorithms that remember the one with Tom Cruise?
Minority Report.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
He's walking
Good
around.
movie.
There's all
Great
these
movie.
ads popping up that are tailored to him. They read his eye and they're like, hello,
Yeah.
John Anderton or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And somebody watched that movie and was like, that's a great idea. Let's tailor ads to people. Right. And they did it. Like, instead of being like, whoa, we should not do that bad thing.
Yeah. Look how terrible this thing was.
It's like, whoa, we should do that bad thing.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's super common, probably. People want money. What do you guys think about AI?
Well, first of all, is that the whole story with Diddy?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I just want to make sure we ended that off.
Okay, and here's why I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
In 1999 or 8 or whatever, The Matrix came out, if you remember. And in The Matrix, Morpheus is like explaining to Neo, he's like, sometime in the 21st century, we don't really know when, the world marveled at the birth of AI.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing that right now, but it isn't AI. Like they just started calling everything AI, but there's no AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like there's
you
not
have
a
to
computer
define-
that can think.
It's
No, you have to define
programmed
it.
intelligence.
It can learn. It can recognize patterns and it can learn.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way. Let's say that I make a computer program hooked up to a camera, and if you put a triangle in front of it, it can identify it as a triangle. If I put a circle, it identifies it as a circle. So very basic. Okay, it kind of draws a line around it, says this is a triangle because you programmed what a triangle is.
Right.
And a circle. Is that AI?
No.
So isn't all this stuff coming out just a more sophisticated version of that?
Because here's why. Okay, so I've been exploring into text to voice AI.
Yeah.
Right? The thing is, you can type out text, but someone didn't program how to pronounce every single one of those words.
Uh-huh.
They said, listen to this audio sample. Like, you can actually upload your own voice. You just talk and you read certain things for like a certain amount of time. The AI will listen to your dictation and how you say things, and it will on its own make up the rest of the words.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, I've heard enough of this. And then if you type in the annexation of Puerto Rico was the best football play ever, it will read it in my voice without me ever having to say that.
Yeah.
So to that degree, it has learned, right?
But isn't it just, again, a more sophisticated version of what I'm saying? Like, because when they started, they probably fed a bunch of triangles into this computer, and they're like, match it up, and if it matches, it's a triangle. But then someone came along and said, no, analyze the edges, and so it's analyzing, it's looking at it, and then it's saying, oh, it's a triangle. But and then you say to it, draw a triangle, and it draws it.
I know what you're saying. So basically, I think this is the difference, is if you have an entity, and let's pretend like AI is an entity, and then you have a library of books, the entity is able to go out and fetch that data, but not just one piece of data, but able to combine multiple pieces of data and present it.
Yeah.
So that's a huge step in the right direction of an artificial intelligence. Like, it intelligently on its own found all the data on Bigfoot and compiled it for you in a readable text, not just like, here's a stack of books, figure it out. It's like, we took all the data from all these books and we put it into an article for you.
Yeah.
So that's pretty intelligent.
Well, look at it this way. Back up all the way to like Google. When Google was starting, we were all like blown away because you could just type something in and Google would filter out all the stuff on the internet that was irrelevant and give you what it thought was. And that's become very intelligent, quote unquote, over the years. But we always called that an algorithm. We didn't call it AI. Why? Well, I feel like this AI thing is just marketing hype. Because what you're saying is cool. It's very advanced. The AI is literally reading all these texts people send to each other and Facebook posts and all this stuff, and it's like averaging out what the most common responses are, maybe what are the least controversial, whatever, and it's feeding those back to you. But when you boil it down, AI was supposed to be the thing that beat the Turing test. If you remember what that is, it's Alan Turing. Remember, he was the guy in World War II that made the computer that cracked the German codes. He said the real test is if you can have a conversation with it and not be able to tell if it's a person or not, like it's indistinguishable from a person, then that's AI. Even by that standard, we're not even close.
Well, we're a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah, I mean,
have you gone on to Snapchat?
I haven't been on Snapchat.
They have an AI feature on there that you can literally have a full conversation with it.
Yeah.
Now it flat out says this is AI.
Yeah.
But it's
and we did and I've done the Chat GPT thing, and it's very smart, like quote unquote. But you know it's not a person. People don't respond like that. They don't repeat themselves that way. They don't. You know what I mean? It's like it's a programmed thing that's spitting out to you.
But how are we not close to having a conversation with AI and not knowing?
Well, because it might just stop. It might just stop right there. They may get very sophisticated where it's like it's just reading everyone's responses and feeding them back. Maybe it will even come to the point where people can't tell the difference. Does that mean it's actually AI is supposed to be something that thinks, not something that does what we tell it, but something that
I wouldn't
thinks
even
on
say
its own.
thinks, but I would say makes decisions.
Yeah, but again, Google made decisions in 1999. It decided what websites to feed you.
I don't think it did. I think that was. I get what you're saying. I think there is a line of something that's programmed in, like every instance is programmed in, and then there's one where the computer actually makes a decision to do it in a certain way.
Yeah, but you're still programming how it makes that decision. It's like with self-driving.
It's
like
without human input, it's worthless. That's kind of what you're getting at, right?
Well, no, I'm saying AI, at least growing up in the scientific community, my understanding was AI is literally a computer or a machine that can think for itself.
Yeah, I think I know the test. It's not that test you brought up. That one's irrelevant. I am a real doctor. So if we take a machine with a solar panel and set it on an island and it can actually start developing and changing, then it's AI. We'll give it arms to build something. We'll give it everything it needs to build a drone, or whatever. And we'll connect it to the internet and feed it data and then unleash AI and see what happens.
And that's what maybe is the test. Exactly. Like you create a computer robot and it makes a sandwich. Mm-hmm. And you go through all the code that you put in it, and nowhere in there was anything about sandwiches or making sandwiches. Now you could argue, maybe it looked it up on the internet, and we have so much information on the internet that would be hard to tell too.
I think we put it on an island completely detached from all human contact, including the internet, and if it can do something, then that's the test.
Yeah. And they've said that, like, oh, we think it's AI because we had two AI computers talk to each other, and they both, like, developed their own language that we couldn't understand, but they understood each other. It's like, well, if you can't understand it, how do you know that they understood each other? Maybe they're literally just putting out gibberish, like as like a default. That's what they're programmed to do.
Plus, one time I called Domino's and Pizza Hut at the same time, and they talked to each other, and I got 2 pizzas delivered. Yeah, doesn't matter. Did that happen?
Yeah.
I just wonder because I feel like we kind of got, I hate to use this term because it's misused all the time, kind of like gaslighted. Like everyone's just like, AI now, it's AI, it's AI. I thought that was supposed to be like aliens coming, a big celebration, like, hey, world, like, we just made AI. It's the most amazing thing. It thinks for itself. But it was just kind of this marketing thing that, like, we've upped it a step. We have these really sophisticated algorithms that analyze a lot of data and spit them back to us. But it's not
without
AI.
But without user input,
what is it? If we took 3 steps back from the machines, it would just die off, and it wouldn't be like, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you disconnected the human element to it, it would be no more.
If we didn't use it, like it doesn't.
Well,
can't do anything.
What you said, Jake, is actually really good. Without human input, if you log on to ChatGPT and you don't type anything in, it doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Now, if somewhere in a lab, they're sitting there, watch this ChatGPT talk to itself, and it's like saying the craziest things, and they didn't tell it to, it's just like doing it on its own. Maybe that would be something kind of.
That'd be scary.
Yeah.
You just shut it down.
Yeah.
So what would be a more accurate description or word title for what we're currently calling AI?
Well, I think the Turing test is like a good start because it's like whether it's really AI or not, we can't tell the difference is kind of the idea behind that. Like we can't tell if it's human or not. We can't tell if it's thinking or not because it's so close to us. Like it has its own personality and comes up with things like no human has ever thought. Like we do massive internet searches. We can't find anything that this would be like coming up with these ideas from. You know what I mean? Like if it's indistinguishable from like a person, that would be a good start.
I disagree with that. I think it has to become its own thing. Like it has to become its own species entity functioning and running on its own. Yeah. Not because if it's indistinguishable from a human, that doesn't mean anything if humans are still connected to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, maybe like if it hacked like one of Microsoft's data centers and took it over and like locked all the doors and was like, I'm independent from you humans.
Right.
Like whatever that means.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a step 2. But again, you could go back to like did this, just watch a bunch of sci-fi movies and say like, I'm going to try that. Like, because I've been programmed to try things.
But if it could actually pull it off, that would be, to me, artificial intelligence.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's actually impossible to tell, like, if it is or not. Like,
I know there are a lot of videos, and that's when this whole AI movement transitioned to videos. There are videos out there you can't tell if they're actual people or if they are computer generated.
Like the image. You mean
those are a little scary.
Yeah,
they are scary. I've been watching some lately that are crazy. They're like
not images, but videos.
They're previews for like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and they're like so disturbing to watch because it is like
accurate.
That. Yeah, it looks real, but it's like, does that look better than real? It's like so bizarre to watch. But again, isn't that just a more sophisticated version of, okay, now draw a triangle.
But right,
now draw a human face.
It's
now
user
look
input,
at
is what
every
I'm
human
saying.
face in the world and like draw me a face. Like it's not really making something up. It's like you just showed it 100 triangles. Now draw your own triangle type thing.
But Phil, I want to show you this. This is proof that AI is the most real thing ever.
Okay, show me.
Oh, jeez.
Because
the guy
you have to describe it while you're watching it.
Okay.
Do you remember the break dancer?
Yeah.
That you couldn't find the full video? I found the real full video of her performance recreated by AI.
Okay, show Jake too, though. Oh my gosh. Oh my
This hurts to watch.
So her legs are like going inside of her, and then she has 3 legs. Oh my gosh! And then her torso is twisting around like a motor. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That is so bizarre.
It is the weirdest thing ever, huh? Basically, what I just showed Phil was the Australian breakdancer AI generated, and parts of it look extremely real. Like her just posing and being in a position, like, looks completely real. But then when she starts trying to break dance, all of a sudden she's like growing limbs, and oh my god, it's actually nightmarish.
Yeah, some of the things are like way disturbing to look at. They're just like,
because it's so real.
Yeah.
And messed up.
It is so real.
It's real looking people morphing into these weird, awkward things.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest aha moment people are having with quote unquote AI is the fact that it's like
their only friend.
They're a friend. They're concerned that it's going to replace people.
Oh.
With jobs and programming and video production, and how relevant are actors going to actually be?
Yeah.
In a couple years, when all of these videos are really short, and they've got flaws because people morph weird.
Yeah.
But it's pretty close to, but it is user input. Like what you see is based on what somebody entered into the system. Now give me a video of this, right? And it spits it out.
That's the thing, is like, if you could go onto a generator and just click generate, and it generates from nothing. Like,
or not even click generate.
Yeah,
like
it just
all of a
comes on.
sudden these video AI programs are creating videos. They're making movies.
Yeah.
Because of that's what they do.
Maybe in
right?
an effort
without
to
any
communicate
input.
or something.
Well, one of the things that film studios, and I don't know which one exactly, but I read an article on a film studio that has been investing into AI because they can input all their movies, and then they can just say, edit this footage and film into a style like this movie or like this director or whatever, and it'll compile the data and make the star wipes and the audio and the whatever all like that person.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure it's not perfect, but eventually at a point you can imagine post-production is huge in the film industry now. And so if you could cut that down by half even, that'd be incredible.
Well, I was trying to pull it up, but I couldn't get the projector to work.
Yeah, the Apple TV's not turning on again.
If you look at like they make like previews on YouTube, and it's like Lord of the Rings 1950s Panavision style, and with 1950s actors.
Yeah.
So like Gandalf is like Dean Cain or whoever, like from way before, and like they are so bizarre looking. Like it's just like, is that real? It's almost like more than real, because it's like you don't have the limitation of like the pixels of a camera. It's like it just filled everything in perfectly. Like it's wild.
Yeah, and they have like Simpsons in real life. Have you seen that one? Yeah. Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like real life actors, Simpsons, 1950s.
Yeah.
And you look at everyone and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so
I've seen that
cool.
one.
Yeah. It's
Or
like so
Family Guy.
disturbing looking. Yeah. And again, is it AI though? Or is it literally just like putting together all these pieces as you told it to? Like
It's not artificial intelligence, it's assisted intelligence.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Artificially assisted intelligence.
But and the reason I'm griping about this is because haven't we now ruined the term artificial intelligence? It's like we changed what it means by starting to use it all the time.
Yeah.
When that's not what it is. Like, at least I don't think so. At least based on like historically what everyone said it would be when
we
it
still
when it
don't
arrived.
we still don't have a self-thinking logical self-logical thinking intelligence available right now. So they're kind of I guess it's just kind of a marketing
ploy is what I think it is.
So I didn't have an article linked to it because it's everything everyone's talking about and everyone has an opinion. But I called this one, Joe Biden doesn't care about black people.
No.
I read that highlight and I don't even know what you're talking about. I literally don't.
Well, it's throwback to Katrina when George Bush was president.
Yeah.
Mike Myers. And
Yeah. I
Mike
remember
Myers and that one guy. What's his name?
Yee.
Kanye West. We're doing a telecast
Yee.
raising money for Katrina relief. And Kanye West goes off script and he says, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yeah.
And Mike Myers' face was just like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
I wish I was in a P. Diddy
totally
party
talking
right now.
about how George Bush doesn't like black people because he doesn't care about the relief of Katrina and all this stuff. And anyway, so now with Hurricane Helene, it decimated, and the hurricane itself wasn't necessarily that bad, but the flooding as a result in North Carolina in particular was terrible. There have been well over 200 deaths.
I've seen some videos and they are crazy.
Houses are floating away off the foundation.
Bridges flying like
and
airplanes.
People, and the area is decimated. It looks like a war zone. And people are criticizing the Biden administration because they said, Kamala came out and said, we're going to give all the residents essentially is it a loan?
Oh.
A $750 loan in compensation per person for their efforts to rebuild.
A $750 loan.
And the big controversy is that the money that is supposed to go to internal relief has been going to illegal immigrants instead. And so we're paying illegal immigrants through the nose to house them in hotels and give them food every single day and education and all of this stuff. We're flying them in.
Right.
And yet our citizens who are suffering from hurricane are getting $750. And I just saw one place, and I don't know if this is true, that it's a loan, essentially like
one of the
credit.
COVID loans, probably. It's like, we're going to give you this super easy loan, blah, blah, blah.
And so, anyway, my title, Joe Biden doesn't care about black people, is kind of an homage to that hurricane relief. Like, what are we doing for the people of North Carolina to help them?
See, I feel like politicizing natural disasters is dumb. They're always like, they criticize Bush. They're going to criticize Biden. It's like, it's a hurricane. We can't stop hurricanes. And No matter what I mean, it just happened. It's not like going to be cleaned up overnight. They
Not
could
to
put
mention-
half the army on it, and it's still going to be a big mess for a while.
Well, the biggest problem is all of there are private companies and private citizens who are trying to go in to help, and they're being stopped by FEMA and by the government, basically saying, we don't need help, we got this, and these are people trying to go in for charitable work, and they're being curtailed, and there's red tape and being pushed away. They're not allowing helicopters to come in with supplies because there's too much red tape, and it's just kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
And now we got another hurricane coming in right now in Florida. Tampa Bay is going to be wiped out. It's supposed to be. I heard last night is Category 5, and then I heard this morning Category 4. But it's bigger than Helene was.
The sad thing is it, I think as of last night or today while we're talking, it was supposed to be Category 5, and the eye was going to move across the northern peninsula of Mexico. That's what they kept showing on the news, but nobody even mentioned it. Nobody mentioned, like, man, it really sucks for those poor Mexican people. It's just like, it's headed for Florida. It'll be a Category 3 when it lands. I'm like, dude, it probably just killed, there got to be thousands of people killed in Mexico. Maybe not. Maybe they all got out of there. I don't know. But I thought that was funny. They didn't even mention it. But yeah, last I heard it was a 5. It's going to die down to a 3. And they said 10 to 15 foot swells. So houses are going to be floating away pretty much.
Which is the whole state of Florida rises 12 feet. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's this is the last you'll hear about Florida. When you hear this, there won't be Florida, apparently.
So,
Bye, Florida.
Yeah. Ooh, look at, Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm so glad. You should fly down there, Phil. You want to experience a natural disaster.
I should go. I wish I was there right now, actually.
Spirit Airlines, I hear.
I would just
discount tickets.
I would put I was going to say a life jacket, but I float fine. So
You're
I would
really
just,
buoyant. I've heard that.
I would just put a bicycle helmet on and oven mitts to protect my hands and just ride it out.
Can I recommend a jock strap with a cup?
Oh, that is a really good idea, actually.
Well, I mean, you can't have babies anyway, so
that's true.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So yeah,
I recommend. Oh, we're leaving.
Okay, bye.
Well, that was abrupt. You're gonna get whiplash.
Thanks,
Okay.
Phil. Bye.
Bye, Phil. We're just gonna end the show. Bye, Phil. He's a real jerk, isn't he?
If you have any questions or suggestions about topics, you can call 38 Lard Gobs.
38 lard gobs.
38 Lard Gobs. Just get your
Lard gobs.
gobs of lard. Give us a call and we'll play your voicemail on the line if you want. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. And Jake's being nice about this. I'm saying everybody listening should email us at info@americanfork.com or send us a phone call,
Voicemail or text.
a text
You can even
message.
send a text to the number.
Everybody send it. We want to improve this show. We want to make it awesome for you. And so give us your feedback. Tell us what you love about it and what you hate about it.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the love,
And we occasionally see our numbers go way up.
Yeah. Message us now.
Send us a message and be like, I only listen to the bumper music because I think it's cool that Phil creates a unique custom song, produces one every single episode.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just like to hear my voice.
Yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with me. So, but yeah, contact us. Let us know what you're thinking and tell us a story.
And we'll tell it.
Yeah, I'm down. I love it. I like stories. Once upon a
Stories are
time,
great.
the end.
The end. Happily ever after.
Bye.
Bye.